Hi, welcome back to my channel. So we have the new ritual miracle here in 3.1.7, and while a lot of players think that the stages are unclearable, I think it's quite okay currently because I just tried a couple of times and I already found out the key components in beating all these ritual miracle stages, and the direction that the developer wants us to go is actually quite clear because they want us to play around with the elemental weakness and strength. So Cronos being Inferno, they want us to play around with Flow Espers, and apep being Wind, they want us to play around with Inferno Espers, and then Fafnir being Flow, they want us to play around with Wind Espers. So it's actually quite clear, and for Simmer Espers, they can be used in every single ritual miracle. They probably do get some disadvantages because in the changelog it mentions that in Chronos, like non-flow Espers get misread up. So I don't know whether the simmer is included in there, but based on the wording there, I think the simmer is included, but it's not as bad as if you use Wind Espers in Chronos, which is like a really bad idea right now. So let's go straight into Chronos. So Chronos here, the first one, the key component in Chronos is actually ODET right now. So if you do have ODET, it's a really good viable Esper to use in Chronos. The reason is because Chronos with his AP increase every time our Esper moves, makes him moves really fast according to our Esper speed. So you don't actually want to move that fast while dealing with Chronos. Otherwise, Chronos will still able to catch up with you. So all that is a key component here because she can use her Ice Shield, and whenever Chronos tries to attack us, then he will get a permanent attack down and speed down. You don't actually really need to give accuracy to Odette because Odette Ice Shield works like this. Every time she put Ice Shield buffs to her friends, the chance of the Ice Shield to give attack down and speed down to Chronos is actually dependent on the owner of the buff itself, not from Odette. So like let's say my team here that Oli have the Ice Shield, then if Chronos hits Oli, then the Ice Shield use Oli's accuracy to put the attack down and defense down, the speed down to Chronos. So all of your Espers need to have high accuracy to be able to put the attack down and speed down to Chronos. So you don't really necessarily like only have Odette that have accuracy. So here in this team, I actually put my accuracy in Oli and also in Shechui, the Red Wind. There. So the other Espers is actually replaceable. Like you can replace them with any other Espers. Like I see a lot of players using Sally, using Hengye as the healer. Here I'm using Clara because that's my favorite one. And for the DPS, they actually try to use Xiaoyin, and then they also use some other DPS Espers. So it's also a lot of Espers are viable as long as they are within the flow element. So they want us to play around with flow element, but I think the best choice here is that if you have Oli, he is the best choice in Chronos because Oli is one of the two Espers that the bonus HP damage can be increased by critical damage. So the other one is Chalmers. So when you see like a lot of Espers that deal percentage HP damage like Steward or like who the other ones I forgot, Luyi, yes, and only Oli and Chalmers, the bonus damage can be increased by critical damage. That's why Oli is really strong in Temporal Tower 50 because for bosses that have a ton of HP, Oli's damage get increased by a lot, and that damage can be increased by critical damage. So when you're building Oli, you want him to have more critical damage than his attack if you can build him that way. So that's for Chronos. So now next we are going to apep. In apep here, the key component, the key esper is Joser. Joser have a new skill in this 3.1.7, which makes him able to give disease in every single attack. So as long as Joser have his bull rage buff, then he every single attack that Joser do will put disease on the enemy. And this is the most important part, is that this disease cannot be resisted. So in this 3.1.7, all of the ritual bosses have a very high resistance, and that is actually like, different from what they say to us in their changelog, because they mentioned that in the changelog, Cronos resistance is going to get reduced, but which is correct. Like his resistance against any other debuffs is reduced, except for poison. So me as the poison user, this is like a really hard time for me. But it's still doable, because if you want to see, like here in apep, I can still do apep using poison. So it's not to say that it's impossible, it's just that it took me 6 minutes, just like before 3.1.7, just to clear one round. So that's the reason why previously I never make a video of my apep team. It's because it's not doable for any of you to do this at home. It's only for me. So yeah, but it's still doable. Like, it doesn't mean that apep is immune to poison right now. Apparently, every single ritual miracle bosses right now have the same resistance as pre 3.1.7 apep. That's why. So they make all of them have the same high resistance. So here, Joser being able to put disease is the key component here, because the moment that disease debuff drops down, then apep will go back to 100% HP. So you don't want that to happen. So you need to give like enough speed to Joser for him to be able to put disease permanently to apep. And then the rest of the team is changeable. Like, you can change the other espers to any other espers. Like, I see Hengye, I see Sally, and then I see Alexa being used. So if you want, you can go to the other YouTubers or any other players that have any other solution. But the key component here is to keep putting disease on apep. And then the rest of the time, you need to just think about surviving against the apep's poison. Because currently, right now, every time apep use his third skill, he will, not third skill, but the second skill, he will remove all of our buffs. So if you want to use immunity, you need to use someone that has a fast immunity, like Fabrice here that I'm using. And also Clara, my Clara can give 2 turns immunity, so it's also good. So it's like a backup for my Fabrice. So you want a fast immunity to be able to deal with apep's poison. And then Jin Yu Yao is also someone that is really good in here, but you can see that my Jin Yu Yao is dead, and I still able to deal with apep here. So yeah, if you have Sally, she is actually the best option to use in apep, because every time your esper moves, they will get their debuffs removed. So it's just like a better version of Jin Yu Yao. So here, that's for apep. We're going to see here, like, apep is the hardest, but it's still doable. Like, one more thing that I forgot to mention, that another option for you that you can use is actually Brewster. Brewster, being an Inferno Esper, he is a really good option to use in apep right now, because with the new change coming to Brewster, he now transfer debuffs every time he uses his pursuit. So he can potentially remove his own debuffs every single time to apep. So now we go to Fafnir, and in Fafnir, the key components here is Biondina. Yeah, the key component in Fafnir is actually Biondina. If you have Yunchuan, the new Esper that just came out, then he is a better option because the key component here that you need to think about is that you need to be able to remove Fafnir's buffs every single turn. And to be able to do that, you need either Biondina or you need to have Yunchuan. So both of them removes the enemy's buffs every single turn, and they are wind and flow. So if you think about Chloe, that can also remove buffs every single turn. Chloe is an Inferno Esper, and she will be a bad choice in Fafnir because she will oftentimes miss her attack. So here I use Lin and Li Guang to be a backup for my Biondina. So in case my Biondina failed to remove all of the Fafnir's buffs, then I have Lin and Li Guang as backup. So you can see here that Fafnir have that 2 stacks buffs at the top left corner there, and that buffs need to be removed before Fafnir reaches like the next HP bar. Because if he has that buff when he gets reduced to the next HP bar and get his shield, that shield will get increased. So here I only have 12 stacks of shield that I need to break for Fafnir. If you still have that buff, the Unfaris something, Unfaris Blessing I think. Yeah, if he still have the Unfaris Blessing, his Unfaris Treasure will get increased up to 20 stacks, and that is impossible to remove. And that's the thing, that's the key component in Fafnir here. So you do want to remove that buffs as soon as possible, and that's why Biondina is a really good option here. And as you can see that my Biondina is built as a tank. She doesn't even deal damage here because I need her to move fast enough, so I use my Windwalker Relic for support, just like I use her in Sentinel. So her job is just to remove that buffs before Fafnir reach his next HP bar. So like here, I also have Lin, I also have Li Guang for backup, and Gabriel and Berenice is still a really good option here in Fafnir. Especially Gabriel, because Gabriel just got a buff that increased her multi-hits, so she can now break Fafnir's shield more efficiently because of all her multi-hit attacks. So here you can see that Fafnir is actually like very doable and safe using this Biondina. And my theme for all the ritual just now that you see is actually just, I just randomly pick my rallies. As long as it has enough speed and enough HP, and I'll just use them. I don't even use like a proper rally when dealing with all these ritual bosses, and they are still down. So if you are like a better player than me, then you can have a better relic options that you can choose. But as long as you get the key component, the idea behind each stage that you need to do, that you need to be careful about, then you should be able to deal with them without any problem. So that's the thing. So when you want to deal with any of these stages, every single person will have different solution, because what works for me doesn't really apply to every single players out there. That's why I don't really make videos like this often. But right now, I do want to show you guys that these ritual miracles are actually doable. So don't worry about all the things that is happening outside. Like as long as you follow the idea here, the rules that the Dislyte team give to us, playing around with the elemental here, then you should be able to do this. If you're still like having trouble with all these ritual miracle bosses, then do not be disheartened. You can just grind your rallies, get a better Esper options. But the thing is that as long as you get the idea, the basic idea down, then you can just play around with any other Espers that have the same purpose as the Espers that I'm using here. So that's all for the ritual miracle here. Hope you guys get some benefit out of this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.